Hello everybody, Patrick here. Yes, I am alive. I just kinda took a little bit of a break, I guess. But I'm back, and oh boy, do I have something cool for you. Actually, before I start, number one, I want to apologize. Number one, review station's a little dusty. Number two, sorry I've been gone. And three, I have a couple ACs on. It is still 80 degrees in the house. That's with a swamp cooler, a window fan, a window AC, 2 standing fans, and another fan. It's hot in here. But anyway, so, we're back with something pretty rare. I wouldn't say it's as rare as music label Soundwave, but she's still pretty rare, because she was a subscription club exclusive. That's right. Today, we are taking a look at the TFCC Transformers Timelines Slipstream. And God, I fucking love this figure. This figure is good. Now, I don't have her original box, and I think her instructions got lost in the box she came in, and I threw it out. That being said, I do have her bio card. Yes, strength 7, intelligence 9, speed is 8, endurance is 6, rank 4, courage is a 9, fire blast, aka fire power, is 6. She has 3 missiles on each side. How is it just a 6? Anyway, and skill 7. And yeah, I love that quote. The truth is well hidden. To find it, you have to lose yourself in a sea of lies. And the whole card is so... My dog is barking. Some things never change. And I love this artwork. That is so cool. Even if it's not totally accurate to the toy. Okay, I gotta bring her in. Anyway, Slipstream's tech spec card is just a normal tech spec card. I still really love this. She is so cool. Anyway, that's it for now. Now let's take a look at the figure. She is a repaint, slight remold of the Transformers Prime First Edition Starscream. And this figure has made me want to track down a First Edition Starscream. I found her for fairly cheap in comparison to what I've seen her go for. I see her usually go for around $300. I paid $336 or $136. So I got a decent deal. That being said, do not pay $300 for this figure. It's cool, I love it. Do not pay $300 for it. But anyway, let's take a close look at that nice metallic teal cockpit. A little bit more of that up here with the lining. This is more for robot mode to make it look like she has more of a cockpit on her chest. Some nice glossy black. Soft rubber, rubberish nose cone. You have her missile clusters. You have, a little bit more of that nice teal right here. A little bit more black. More of that nice metallic teal. More of that on the wings and the Decepticon emblems. Yeah, she has a bit of an undercarriage. But if you can excuse Combiner Wars Silverbolt, you can excuse this. Like, this is really not that egregious. Coming to the back, some more teal on her legs. The thruster. Yeah, this figure is really cool. I love it. Now, for comparison, here she is with my only surviving original Transformers Prime toy from my childhood, Optimus. And as you can see, he's missing one of the floodlights, and I just repaired that with cardboard. Anyway, as you can see, she is just about as tall as Prime in vehicle mode. Maybe her nose cone sticks up a little bit more. Let me raise the camera a little bit for some of these. But yeah, her nose cone sticks up a little bit more. But yeah, As you can see, the jet is not supposed to be this small compared to a truck. But you know, here she is next to a car. As you can see, she is much longer than the Viacon. This is the APC Toys knockoff, which I kept the box and I use that as a camera stand when I get to the taller frames. But yeah. Now, here is, in my opinion, the second most important comparison with the 86 Seeker mold. Yes, I own the 86 Seekers. I've been buying a lot of toys. I just haven't been reviewing. Let me just say, in F16, which is what Slipstream, Prime, Starscream, Slipstream is based off of, is not that short compared to an F15, which is what the G1 Seekers were made out of. But, oh boy, she does mass shifting. She mass shifts like fuck. She gets really tall in robot mode. But, that being said, she is a deluxe. Like, that was one of the biggest issues with this mold, other than a couple other things, was that it was deluxe. So the jet mode was tiny. But I can forgive that for everything else this figure does. But yeah, now, oh, she fell over. Now, what is probably the actual most important comparison? Here she is with Legacy Slipstream. As you can see, they are about the same size in vehicle mode. This Slipstream was the only Slipstream you could really get at mass retail, because her first figure was a Takara exclusive, and it was made out of the first Windblade figure. So, this one follows kind of that trend, but still, except she was mass retail. So the cheapest way to get a Slipstream would be this figure. And I still like it, but she is way outdone by this. That being said, again, I still like this figure. I still do. It's just not as good as, this one. The purples are different. This is a little bit more of a lilac, almost. No, not necessarily lilac. You can see they are different shades. Even the teal is different shades. This one is more of a blue, has more blue in it, but still. I just realized our cockpit's not totally straight. Still, they are, very similarly sized. But anyway. But yeah, she does come with accessories. This little triple missile cluster. And it just, pegs in under the wing, like this. But yeah. I think that's really all there is to say about jet mode. The jet looks fucking good. It looks really good. So, now on to transformation. First thing you want to do is take the missiles off. And even without the missiles, it still looks good. Anyway, so now you want to come down here to the legs, untab them. They tab in at two places. One right there in the thigh, and then one right there in the heel, as you can kind of see. So you want to untab those. You're going to want to untab the entire crotch. All actually animated Seeker-like, because their legs did, fold up from the back. You want to rotate it at this hinge right here. And then double hinge it, so that way these tabs go into the slot right here. Just like that. Then you want to take basically the entirety of the plane and rotate it. You get that nice little click. It does click. You can see a bit of tissue. I've been messing with this figure so much, the ball joints actually got loose. Anyway. Then you're going to want to come to the feet and just kind of spread them out. It does help if you, put her on the ground and then, kind of adjust her feet from there. I need to raise the camera a little bit. Now I need to lower the camera a little bit. Anyway, you're going to want to come to these little sections right here and flip them up like this. You want to come to these soft rubber knee sections, flip them up. You want to come to the wings, bring them back on this double hinge. Bring them back. I think all the fucking, or most of the paper towel in there just came out. Whatever. You want to come back here and split the arms, bring them down on this hinge right here, and bring them down, down and down. You're going to want to rotate them right here at the bicep, flip out the hand, and you might need to use the wing for a little bit of leverage to slide her arm down. Then flip this little winglet back, or the little fin back. Same thing on the opposite side. This one's a bit tighter. You're going to want to, crunch her right here at the ab. Bring this section all the way back. This is what has the head. You're going to want to rotate the thruster like this. You're going to want to come and split the tail fin like this. And then I'm going to show you how she officially transforms first, and then I will show you how I mistransform her. It's a popular mistransformation because it looks better for Slipstream. And I will give my reasons, because my reasons are not the same as everyone else's. And you want to make sure that, she's hunched over. You're going to want to tab these tabs in right there, just like so. Her head will come down and it will tab into place. You're going to want to bring the tail up and tab it in. Make sure all that's tabbed up. Bring the thruster down. Angle the wings back and then up like this. Then you're going to want to bring in the missiles. They will now tab right over these turquoise sections like this. And there you go. There you have your Transformers Collectors Club Slipstream in her robot mode. And yeah, I really dig the way this figure looks. Let's get in close there on her head. That's a nice, feminine Starscream head. And now, this mold works very well for Slipstream because the Prime Starscream design was already very feminine. And it just works. It does. What doesn't work for me is the hunch. To me, I just don't see a tactician like Slipstream hunching over like this. Like, for Starscream, it works perfectly. I just don't think it works for, a tactician like Slipstream. A lot of people don't like the hunch because it doesn't look feminine. I don't care that it doesn't look feminine. I care that that's just not the posture a tactician would have, in my opinion. So, the mistransformation. You're going to want to bring the wings out, undo the head, and untab this from back here. You're then going to want to straighten her up and bring this over. As you can see, those tabs will kind of lean over. It doesn't lock in, but once you bring the head down, it's pretty solid. And then you just bring all this back like this. The one problem this does present is that now the thruster piece is rubbing on the cockpit and could potentially scrape the paint off. There is something you can do about that, and it's literally just rotate it and bring it back up and leave it like that. That doesn't look particularly good to me right now. My mood on the thruster changes, so, but, you can also just make sure it just, you do that. But anyway, I love the look of this figure. She is so good. I love how they added, like, you know, kind of like a faux cockpit there, almost. Mine is missing a little bit of black, I think. As you can see, there's a little bit more purple showing right here, but that's fine. I really don't care. She looks fantastic. But, yeah. Now, for articulation, the head is... If I don't bump my camera. The head is on a ball joint. She can look left, right. She can look all the way up. She can tilt a little bit, but like not much. You do technically have an ab crunch if you mistransform it and then, you know, re-transform her right. The shoulders are on ball joints. Mine have gone a little bit loose because I keep messing with her. She can do full 360. She can go out that far. If you want, you can use this transformation joint. That works better more for shooting, you know, forward arm poses. She has a bicep rotation that can go a full 360. She has little over, or just about little over 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. And right here at this, yeah, as you can see, I've loosened her shoulders apparently. At this little rail section, you can get an inward bend, just about as far as you want, which is, you know, works great for like hands behind the back poses, or, you know, crossing her arms. The hands you can, you know, flip down, you know, mostly for transformation. You can also flip them, you know, forward like that. This is completely my fault for messing with her constantly. She does have a waist joint, however, you know, that kind of makes it look a little off kilter, and if you rotate it too much, you get the jet cockpit, which is like the only part that isn't very screen accurate to the show, is, you know, the jet cockpit, but there's not really anything they could do about that. And also, you know, the details of the intakes being on the arms, but, you know, the details of this section being on the arm, but that's fine. I really don't care. The hips can go forward about that far, but because of the sculpting, you do also end up doing it outward. So, you know. They can go back about that far before things get in the way. Outward, only about that far, unless you rotate the thigh. Thigh does rotate. You get decent knee bend, and the toes can move forward as well as the heels, so you can get, you know, if you can balance her right, you can get, you know, kind of like walking pose, which is really cool. This figure is pretty articulated for Transformers Prime. Obviously, if she was made nowadays, she would also have ankle tilt and probably a not off-center waist. But, you know, this was 2010, 2011, somewhere around there. So, you know, things change. Ankle tilts were not a standard back then. And even then, look how thin they are. Like, here's the Prime Viacon gun. It is bigger than her entire shin. So how would you even fit an ankle in there without, you know, seriously fucking up the stability and making it possibly more fragile? But yeah. So, for comparison, here she is with the Robots in Disguise Optimus Prime, you know, the mainline Prime. And as you can see, she is not that much shorter. She isn't. She is pretty decently sized for being a deluxe class figure. Like, another comparison, this is another deluxe class figure. She towers over him, as she should, given that, you know, Starscream was taller than the Viacons. So, you know, the robot mode scaling works there. And if you want, you know, next to the new Seekers, she scales pretty damn well with them too. Like, she is just barely shorter, like maybe a quarter of a head shorter. This was a deluxe. This is a Voyager. But yeah. And here she is with Legacy, and yeah, there's still no contest. It's the Prime, it's the Subscription Club exclusive all the way. That being said, this is not a bad toy. This is not a bad figure. This is just better, you know. However, this is also extremely expensive. This was not. So, you gotta take things like that into consideration. I still think this is the better Slipstream. I still think this is a great Slipstream, though. One actual little mistransformation you can do with this Slipstream is, I usually end up splitting this back section, bringing it up over her shoulders to kind of mimic the Seeker jet intakes. You can think that it looks good, you can think it looks bad, but, you know. But yeah. Yeah, no. This is still good. Still good. This is just better. It's just better. So that... So that has been my review of the Transformers Subscription Club exclusive Transformers Timeline thing, Slipstream. I love this figure. I have been non-stop messing with it since I got it a week ago. A week or two ago. No, actually, I think it's been 2 weeks. So, she is a phenomenal figure. Like I said, she makes me want to get more, you know, she makes me want to get that first edition Starscream. But anyway, guys, if you want this figure, secondary market is really your only bet. Because TFC, or APC Toys, has not made a knockoff of their Starscream at the time of recording. And they thus have not done Slipstream from him. So yeah, your only real way to get this figure is through eBay, and she is exorbitantly expensive. I had the extra money from my check, and I got her, because this is something I've been wanting for a while, and I do not regret my purchase. Yeah, I overpaid. Well, I can't say I overpaid when she goes for a lot more usually, but still. Still, I think this is a fantastic figure. If you can afford it, get it. If not, the Legacy version is still good. You know, she's still good. You know, that being said, I think this is just the better figure. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, give it a like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on Twitter at GeminiVTube. Check out my VTube channel, which also hasn't had anything uploaded in a month or so. Or 2, or whatever. I need to get back on that. But, check that out. Patchwork VTuber. Yeah. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Peace.